We'll just chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama for a few minutes now. I'll chant Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, and everyone please repeat, okay? Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai. Hari Om, everybody. So lovely to be here with all of you this evening. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. Chinmay Mission Guyana has taken a sankalpa, or resolve, to do the entire Bhagavad Gita of 700 verses at 108 mandirs over 108 nights, all across Guyana, from Crabwood Creek all the way till Pomeroon. And 108 nights sounds like a long time, but we are already on night 70. I cannot believe it. And this was Swami Prakashanandaji's vision and inspiration. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here for all of the nights because he had to go back to Trinidad for some yajnas that could not be rescheduled, that have been going on for like 20 plus years. But the sankalpa will continue and Bhagavad Gita study will continue. So now, on night 70, here we are. We've studied so many verses. We're coming to the end of chapter 11. There are 18 chapters. We're coming to the end of chapter 11. We might finish it tonight. Chapter 11 is called Vishwa Rupa Darshana Yoga. In this chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna shows Arjuna his Virat Rup Darshan. You must have seen the picture of Bhagavan with lots of heads and lots of hands and lots of feet, and everyone would have seen that very, very common picture of Bhagavan is there. Right? What exactly is this Vishwa Rupa Darshan, or this Virat Rup Darshan that Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave to Arjuna? We see pictures where it shows thousands of heads of Bhagavan and thousands of hands, but actually that is just a way to try to display really what is going on. But that picture doesn't do justice. What this darshan is, this vision is when I look at the world, instead of seeing the world like we normally do, I see Bhagavan. So when I look out at this world, I don't see people and things and places. What I see is just Bhagavan himself. And in other religions, you will hear things like, you have hell and heaven, right? And then there's this world. And God does not have jurisdiction over hell. That is governed by some other being, right? But in our tradition, every single thing in this universe is Bhagavan only. Because if Bhagavan is not something, then he's limited. And who wants a limited God? Right? So every single thing in this universe is Bhagavan, including the negative. Usually we think of Bhagavan as positive, but if he is everything, then he is the negative also. So he shows Arjuna how he is every single thing in this universe. Now, we are all looking at the same world, and he is giving this darshan to Arjuna on the battlefield during the Mahabharata war. It's just about to begin. There would have been millions and millions of people over there waiting to fight. But none of them saw this darshan that Bhagavan gave. Like right now, if somebody walks into the mandir with a murti, and they come to show it to Panditji, well, everybody here will see it, isn't it? Because it is something to see. So how is it then if all of us could see that murti over here, but now Bhagavan is showing his form to Arjuna on the battlefield, and only Arjuna is seeing it. None of the other warriors are seeing it. So then that means it is not just a physical form that he is showing. What he is showing, actually, he had to give Arjuna what we call Divya Chakshu. He had to give him divine vision so he could see this Virat Rup. And really what that vision is, it's not like 3D glasses, where you wear it and then you see something else on the TV. What this Divya Chakshu is it is an understanding. It is something that happens in the mind where I see, this thing that I was calling the world, it is actually not the world. It is Bhagavan in the form of the world. So with Divya Chakshu, Arjuna was able to see the world, not a new world, but he was able to see the world anew. Gurudev puts it like that, Swami Chinmayananda. Right? This thing happens to us also. With a change in vision, our attitude changes. See, if you are a cricket fan, and you have a friend who is a cricket fan, and you go to their house one day after a long time, and you see in their bedroom a bat. That kind of looks like an old, dilapidated kind of bat that nobody would play with, you know? And you take it and you say, okay, what do you have this rubbish bat in your room for? They say, hey, don't touch that. I paid $20,000 for that. Not 20,000 Guyana dollars. US. You will think they're mad. What, for this kind of bat that looks like children played with it because they had nothing else, and you put it up here in your wall? He said, this bat is the first bat that Clive Lloyd used. Well, if you don't know who that is, then you'll think, well, still, what is the point of having it? But if you know who Clive Lloyd is, then you will say, oh, okay. Now, all of a sudden, you understand the value that that bat has, no matter how it looks. It has, a vision has changed in your mind, an understanding has come, so your attitude towards that thing has changed. Now you'll say, oh, can I touch it? The sentiment behind the mind has changed, so the way you think about it and approach it now also changes. We do this all the time in our life, right? So now in this Vishwarup Darshan, what happens is, instead of Arjuna seeing that these are my hands and these are your hands and these are my legs and these are your legs, we see it is all Bhagavan's hands, it is all Bhagavan's arms, it is all Bhagavan's heads only that are over here. This is what happens when Arjuna gets this Virat Roop Darshan. When somebody sees this entire world as Bhagavan, this world now becomes invaluable for that person. If a little cricket bat can gain such value by being associated with a great person, imagine if this entire world starts to be seen as Bhagavan, what invaluable nature it will have in our mind. So this is what happened to Arjuna. Actually, when Arjuna saw this darshan, he went through 3 waves of emotions. First, what happened to him is he was amazed. He went through a feeling of wonder. Oh my God, he saw, when you hear things about how many billions of universes exist and how many billions of planets exist and how, when you look up at the stars, they tell you that each star that you see is a brighter sun than the sun that we have. And not only that, the amount of time it takes for the light of that sun, which you are seeing as a star, to reach from there to here, that thing could be gone by now because it has so many light years between us. You hear these things and your mind is just in wonder. Now Arjuna is seeing all of nature and all of its glory at the same time. So all he's thinking and seeing is wonder. Then he sees the good and he sees the bad that Bhagavan has shown him. He sees the fire of Kali Yuga and he starts to get scared. Right? So fear takes over Arjuna's mind when he sees that all the negative things in this universe are also part of Bhagavan. We don't like negative things, but they're part of this universe. Actually, it is not true that we don't like negative things. If you have a garden and you have a Karela plant growing, right? Now on that plant, if you didn't pick a Karela on time and it starts to become overripe, are you going to say, no, let me leave it and let it do what it wants over there? You know that if you don't pick it, the tree is going to stop producing other Karela, right? So you go and you pick it and you don't keep that Karela anymore because it is of no use, right? To the tree also it is of no use. So you understand that a Karela that is overripe is harmful to the rest of the tree. So you remove it. That is the same thing that happens on a universal scale, where at a certain point, things become unnecessary in this universe. People also finish their karma in this universe and they have to go, right? So we say, no, I don't want to lose this, or I don't want this person to leave me. And like that we say, when negative things happen in this world, it is bad. But that is just from our point of view. So Arjuna didn't have this understanding of how the world works with positive and negative, and he became scared. But with that fear, also he saw who Bhagavan Krishna really is. And he surrendered with namaskar to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. But he couldn't handle the negative. So he said, Bhagavan, you please take this vision away. I cannot handle it anymore. Because it is like the description that was given, like countless suns rising in the sky at the same time, and Bhagavan Shri Krishna is burning all the Kauravas, he's chewing them between his teeth and all of that. So Bhagavan said, Arjuna, well, no need to worry or be scared and all of this, but no problem. And so now Bhagavan withdraws his Vishvarup, the darshan that Arjuna had of seeing this whole universe as Bhagavan. Bhagavan now takes away that vision. And right there is where we have reached now in Bhagavad Gita. And this Bhagavad Gita is being communicated, or it is being told by Sanjaya, the charioteer of Dhritarashtra, the king who is in the palace. So now he gives a little bit of interjection before Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Arjuna continue their dialogue. So I will chant this. It is a long meter, and I will chant it as it is traditionally chanted, not how we have been singing it. So you can listen and then we'll continue, okay? Ityarjunam vasudevastadokta swakam rupam darshayamasa bhuyah ashvasamaya sachabhitamenam bhutva punas saumya vapum mahatma. Sanjaya now says to Dhritarashtra, the king. He's his charioteer and he's relating this whole thing. He also has Divya Chakshu, so he also was able to see this whole wonderful darshan that Bhagavan Shri Krishna had given to Arjuna. He says, Vasudeva, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, having told Arjuna, don't worry about this terrible form of mine, and don't worry, you'll see me back in my normal form and all of that. He now showed Arjuna again his own form. And the commentary in our tradition says, he showed him the form in which he was born in the home of Vasudevji. The difference between Vasudev and Vasudeva, Vasudev is the father and Vasudeva is the son of Vasudev. So he took that four-armed form in which he appeared when he was born in the jail cell. And again he consoled Arjuna, he reassured him. This frightened Arjuna, he said, no, don't worry. When he became now, he took his gentle form. So he went from his multi-dimensional form to his four-armed form, and then only he reverted back to his two-armed form, which Arjuna could handle. It is a very interesting thing. Arjuna is the one who asked Bhagavan Shri Krishna to give him this Vishvarup darshan. He said, I want to see how you are this whole universe. But sometimes we don't really know what we are asking for. Like if you take boiling hot cow milk, you just got milk from the cow and you boiled it and it's nice and hot, and you go and you pour that in a plastic bottle. What will happen? Well, that bottle will collapse because it cannot handle the heat of the milk. In the same way, our mind is like that plastic. Sometimes it is not ready to receive certain things. So here Arjuna is, and he's asked Bhagavan, you show me this darshan of yours. And Bhagavan showed it to him. But his mind wasn't ready to handle it. So that mind became overwhelmed. Right? That's why sometimes, when we ask Bhagavan for something or we ask him anything, if you are not getting it, it might be because your mind is not ready to handle the implications of what it means to get that thing. right? But now his Vishvarupa has been withdrawn. When we say that his Vishvarupa was withdrawn, it doesn't mean that his form went away. All it means is that Arjuna did not have that Divya Chakshu anymore. That vision he didn't have anymore, where he could see it. The focus is the thing that changes. I don't know if you've seen teenagers of today who are glued to their phones. Have you seen some of them? They have their phone like stuck to their hand. And then if their battery drops below 10%, they start to get palpitations. Have you seen teenagers like that? Or maybe preteens also, right? What? 10%? But what will happen if my phone dies? So now you imagine there's a teenager going to Kaichur for the first time. And their battery happens to be 4%. Well, you think that they're looking outside to see the beauty of this most wonderful highest single drop waterfall in the world amidst the Amazon jungle, the beauty of that thing? They cannot focus on that. You know what they're focused on? What if my phone dies before I reach? So they've lost the beauty of the thing that is in front of them because they are distracted by something that is worrying them. That is the exact same thing that happens to us also. This whole universe is Bhagavan. But we are so caught up in things that are worrying us, things going the way we want it to go, that we cannot go beyond the limited vision that we have to see this infinite vision that is Bhagavan in front of us. So that is what happens, right? Anyways, Arjuna had the blessing of seeing this Virat Roop. He also had the blessing of it being withdrawn when it was too much for him. And Sanjaya told Dhritarashtra, now, he withdrew his form and he presented his gentle form again to Arjuna. So now Arjuna has something to say to Bhagavan. The interesting thing that happens here is, in chapter 11, in the whole of Bhagavad Gita, there are only 2 meters. The length of the verses and the way it is chanted, there are 2 types of verses. And the most common one, there's a short verse and a long verse. So the short verse is the very common one that you find. The long verse is less common. But in chapter 11, which we're in, verse after verse after verse after verse, it is the long meter. And if you are doing the chanting of the entire Bhagavad Gita, that's called Gita Parayana, where we sit and we chant the whole Gita. Well, you're chanting. When you reach chapter 11, and you're chanting these long verses, one after another, it gets tiring. And then suddenly now, the meter changes back to the short meter. And when you chant that verse, you feel, okay, and that is the same feeling that Arjuna has at the same point in the Bhagavad Gita. When you chant this verse, he has this feeling of, okay, this terrible form has gone. So let us see now what Arjuna has to say. I'll chant Shri Krishna Sharanamama and you repeat, okay? Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Everybody. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. दृष्ट्वेदं मानुषं रूपं तव सौम्यं जनार्दन इदानीमस्मि संवृत्तः couldn't hear anybody. Swamiji often says that if I chant, then I will leave with blessings of chanting. Right? And if you come and you have an opportunity to chant and you don't chant, then you will leave without the blessings of chanting. So that is not fair. So the next time we chant, everyone has to chant, please. Okay? Okay. But Arjuna says, Drishtva idam manusham rupam. Now that I have seen your human form again, stava saumyam janardana, this gentle, pleasing form of yours. Idanim asmi samvrittaha sacheta prakritim gataha. Now I have regained my composure. I have become happy again. Now I have come back to my normal state of being. Because, first of all, I had said, we do not like negative. We only like positive. And this world goes on telling us, think positive, think positive, think positive. That is not Sanatana Dharma vision. Sanatana Dharma vision is not think negative also. It is think real. There's a difference between that or not. Think positive versus think real. Meaning see the world for what it really is. Don't have any false hope that everything is always going to be fine. Because it is not. And then if you grow up hearing everything will be fine all the time, well, that will only lead to disappointment your whole life, isn't it? So think real. One year, my mom lives in Ghana, in West Africa, right? And one year, someone was going back home to Ghana, and I had sent her, it was Mother's Day was coming up. So I sent her a Mother's Day card that I had bought. On that card, it was written, some people see the glass as half full. You know that saying? Others see the glass as half empty. But a mother sees it as someone who didn't finish their drink and put it in the sink. Different vision, isn't it? Not about optimistic, not about pessimistic. That was the point, right? We see the world as real. But Arjuna wanted to see the world only positive. He couldn't handle it, so now he says, okay, this form of yours, I like. I don't like that other form. Arjuna was totally bewildered by all the things that he had seen. It is like, you know the thing that kind of comes to mind when you imagine what Arjuna would have been going through is like a young child going on a roller coaster. I don't know if you've gone on a roller coaster before or you've watched children go on a roller coaster. That child is very excited to go on the roller coaster. And they get in and they hope that they reach the height limit because some of them have height limits. And then they get strapped in and then they get excited. And then as soon as that, what is it called? That train or whatever it is, the thing that they're sitting in, the vehicle they're sitting in starts to move, suddenly they get scared. And then that thing goes and it stops and it's about to drop and that child starts to bawl. They start to cry. But they can't go anywhere now, they're stuck. Right? So now that child cannot enjoy the rest of the roller coaster ride because they're too busy crying and holding on to their parent and wishing they weren't here and they couldn't handle it, even though they're the one who said, let's go for that ride. Finally now, that ride finishes and it comes to a stop and that child comes out. Does their fear go away immediately? Or like when you wake up after a nightmare, you know that thing wasn't real, but that heartbeat still continues for a while, until you feel better. So that is what Arjuna was going through. His heart was beating so fast. And then that form was removed, like he woke up from that nightmare, but it took time for him to cool down. So he says, okay, now finally, Bhagavan, I have cooled down. Right? So he says, Bhagavan, now I'm happy to see this form of yours. So now Bhagavan has his attention again. So let's see what Bhagavan says. Now he gives the glory of this Vishvarupa darshan. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. ki jai. That sounded so much nicer from where I am sitting. I don't know how it sounded where you were sitting, but it sounded much more so beautiful from where I was sitting. Okay, now, Sri Bhagavan, Lord Krishna himself says, Sudu darsham idam rupam drishtavanasi yanmama. This form of mine, which you have just seen, this Virat Rup Darshan, this form of seeing this entire universe as me, it is extremely, extremely rare and difficult to see. The word is Sudu Darsham. Du Darsham is difficult to see. Sudu Darsham is extremely, extremely difficult to see. Means it is almost impossible to get this vision of seeing this whole universe as Bhagavan. See, how many people look at the world every day? 8 point something billion. How many people get that vision? Well, I don't personally know anybody. He's saying it is almost impossible to have this vision. When you look in the world, you see your neighbor is Bhagavan, and your children are Bhagavan, and the cows on the road that block traffic are Bhagavan. The pothole is Bhagavan. We don't look at the world like that. We see, oh my God, another pothole. Oh my God, this cow is so slow. Oh my God, this neighbor is making so much noise. Oh my God, this... That is what our mind says. It doesn't say Bhagavan, right? So he says, this vision is extremely, extremely rare. And then he says, Deva api asya rupasya nityam darshana kankshana. Even the devatas, you know, Indra, Agni, Vayu, all the devatas like that, they are also always wishing, always desiring to get this darshan of my form, but they don't get it. They always want. So now if it's so hard for the devatas, what to talk of an ordinary human being? Right? He says it is extremely difficult. That means he's also trying to say to Arjuna, look Arjuna, I didn't show you this to scare you or out of spite or out of anger or out of anything. It is a very special blessing that you're getting to see this vision, Arjuna. You know, I was thinking, why is it Bhagavan specifically said even the devatas cannot see this form? We often think of the devatas as these glorious beings. But if you study Ramayana and you hear what Tulsi Dasji has to say about the devatas, let me tell you, he does not like them at all. Because they may be exalted beings that have done a lot of punya karma and they've reached Svarga and all of that. But the thing about these devatas is they are very selfish. They're always thinking about themselves. When Bhagavan Sri Krishna was about to be crowned king, the devatas are the ones who got worried. And they pulled some strings and all of that so that Bhagavan would not be crowned king, so that he could go and kill Ravana, because Ravana was troubling them. So in their mind, they're not thinking about Bhagavan, they're thinking about, let him come and remove Ravana for us. Right? Then, when Bhagavan was in the forest, and Bharatji was going to the forest to try to bring Bhagavan Sri Ram back. You know, I don't know if you're all familiar with the story. He said, I want to bring Bhagavan back. Bhagavan is the rightful king. Well, the devatas saw Bharata going to the forest. And they knew Bharatji's love is so powerful and so strong that if he tells Bhagavan Sri Ram to come back to Ayodhya, Bhagavan Sri Ram will listen to him and come back. So the devatas went to their guru and they said, you please do something so that Bharata cannot go and ask Sri Ram to go back to the forest, to Ayodhya. So who are they thinking about? Bharata and how much love he has and how the whole of Ayodhya wants Bhagavan Ram back? Or they're thinking about themselves, if Bhagavan Ram goes back, who will kill Ravana? You see, the devatas are only thinking about their joy. One of the things that they're known for is, well, they enjoy a lot, but they only think about their enjoyment. Somebody whose mind is only focused on themselves and their enjoyment, they do not have the expansiveness that is required to have the vision that this whole universe is Bhagavan. So even the devatas could not get this vision because they're not selfless. They're not broad in their thinking like that. Now, Bhagavan Shri Krishna just said to Arjuna, this vision is extremely special, extremely rare. But Arjuna had just said to Bhagavan, you please take this vision away. Because he did not know how special it was. Now, that happens to us all the time. Someone brings something to us. And we think it is just a normal thing. Like someone will bring a flower to you. And you'll see it and you say, oh yeah, it's nice. Then they'll tell you, there are only 2 plants in the whole world. You say, oh, really? Man, you could get me a cutting? I could plant one? Suddenly when you realize that the thing is rare, the same thing that you were ready to discard, now you say, oh, how can I get one of that? Okay? So now, the question will be there, if not in Arjuna's mind, at least in everyone else's mind. This thing is so glorious, it is so special. How can I get this vision? Because Bhagavan Shri Krishna is talking to Arjuna in Gita, but it is very clearly told he is using Arjuna as an instrument to talk to all of us. So actually wherever he says, oh Arjuna, you should insert your name. Wherever he says, oh Arjuna, I have to read, oh Jina, like that, right? Bhagavan Shri Krishna is talking to us. So then the question will be, well, how is it that we can get this wonderful Virat Roop Darshan? How is it that we can change our focus from specific things in this universe that keep us occupied to a vision of this universe in its entirety as Bhagavan? So Bhagavan is going to tell now about how to get this Virat Roop Darshan. Before Bhagavan tells us how we can get this vision, he tells us how we cannot get this vision. He says, Na aham vedehi na tapasa na danena na cha ijyaya shakyaha evam vidaha drashtum. I cannot be seen like this, in this way, by someone who goes and is able to chant the whole Veda, is able to quote all the Vedas, is able to, who's a Vedic scholar? Not by somebody like that. Na tapasa, neither by somebody who does tapas, austerity. You see Ravana, how much penance he did, how much tapas he did. He didn't get this Virat Rup darshan. Right? Then, na danena, not by, the translation for dana is charity, but it is a terrible translation. Right? Dana is an offering of gratitude in appreciation of all the things that I have in my life from this world. Right? So not by giving anything can I get this vision of this Virat Rup darshan. Not by yajna, means not by any rituals also, can I get this darshan. Bhagavan says, this darshan of mine, this vision of mine, is not the fruit of knowing the Vedas. It is not the fruit of doing any amount of austerity. It is not the fruit of giving. Dana means doing any kind of punya karma, any kind of good deeds. It is not the fruit of doing any amount of rituals. Not that we should not do those things. You don't go home and be like, Bhagavan said, you can't reach me by dana. No more dana for me. I'm not giving nothing. What? No rituals? I'm not going to the mandir anymore. Right? That is not the point. The point is that merely this is not enough. See, for example, I heard that in Guyana, the government is giving checks. Correct? Now, what is the requirement for that check? You just need to have an ID or your passport to show that you're a Guyanese. And you go there and you put the application in and guaranteed you will get it. Correct? No guarantee when, but guarantee you will get it. Correct or wrong? Okay. So the requirement is be a Guyanese and you will get a check from the government. Or if somebody works at a company 10 years, they have been with the company for 10 years, that company will give them a 10-year recognition. Many companies do that kind of thing, right? Whether that person worked or not for those 10 years, means whether they went there and they gaffed all day and they did nothing, at the end of 10 years they will get that certificate of 10 years completion. So what is the requirement? Just to show up over there and you will get it. Sometimes you might not show up also and you'll still get it, right? So, but the point is here, you cannot say doing these things is enough to guarantee that you will get that darshan. You cannot go up to Bhagavan and say, Bhagavan, hello, I did 5 years of tapas. Give me Virat Rup darshan. I am eligible now. Bhagavan says it doesn't work like that. There is no kind of eligibility. You do this much or you get this much and then boom, you get this darshan. You come and order it like, like a catalog or something. This darshan does not work like that. But people forget. They forget that all of these things are means and they're not the goal. So they get wrapped up in how much they're doing and how good they are doing, and then they sit and they compare. Did you see that person's yajna when they did? Man, mine is going to be better than theirs, right? They get so caught up in the things that they're doing, they forget the real purpose for which they are doing it, right? That is why you have people like, this person has been going mandir so long and nothing happened to them. Why? Because they forgot the purpose, right? Anyways, Bhagavan says there is something more that is required to make us eligible for this darshan of Bhagavan in this way. So now he tells how it is possible to see him. Let us chant.
Shரணam
ज्ञात्वानन्यया शक्यः अहम् एवं विधोऽर्जुन।
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप।
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम।
Everyone, श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
शक्यः, it is possible. Aham evam vidaha Arjuna. It is possible to, he'll tell now, to jnatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum. It is possible to know me, it is possible to see me, it is possible to enter me. It means to become one with me. It is very possible. He's not saying it's not possible. But how? Bhaktya tu ananya. By ananya bhakti. What is bhakti? Bhakti, very simply, we'll see the next chapter, chapter 12, is called Bhakti Yoga. So bhakti will be talked about in its entirety, right? But for simple definition, bhakti is love for Bhagavan. Now, everybody has love for Bhagavan in some way, shape or form, isn't it? I mean, a little child also loves Bhagavan. Bhagavan, I love you so much. Please, please, give me a bicycle. One child was praying one day, really loud, Bhagavan, 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 my birthday's coming up, Bhagavan, I want a bicycle for my birthday. Bhagavan. So his mother came and said, why are you shouting? Bhagavan is not deaf. Bhagavan can hear you. He said, yeah, but Aji in the next room deaf. So he made his calculation well. Little children also have love for Bhagavan in their own way. Then teenagers, Bhagavan, man, you just help me to pass tomorrow and I promise I will study next time. That kind of love is there too, isn't it? Or, Bhagavan, you just help me to get this job. Then everything will be fine. Then I'll have time to come to Mandir and spend with you instead of looking for a job. Everyone goes to Bhagavan. Now, if you don't have love for Bhagavan, why will you go to Bhagavan to ask for anything? Right? Some love has to be there. But the love that is being talked about here is not our business bhakti. You know what business bhakti is? Bhagavan, I will give you 3 agarbatti and 2 coconut. And in return, you give me the job that I want, right? What is the value of that 3 agarbatti and 2 coconut? You could get that coconut for free also from right there. So you go and give Bhagavan something free. Or some people say, Bhagavan, if you give me this, I will give you all my hair. His hair only, right? How your hair grew. From him only. But you say, okay, I'll give you my hair. So you go and they wouldn't even give something of value. They make a deal with Bhagavan. You give me this, I give you this. That's called business or not? That's business bhakti. Not with that kind of bhakti will somebody get this vision of Bhagavan. Then which kind of bhakti? Ananya bhakti. A bhakti where there is no otherness. So see, right now, people go to God to get things in the world. So it's anya bhakti. I have love for God because He gives me things in this world. Right? Then there are other people who want God, but they think I'm going to get God on my own strength. My own sadhana, my own effort is what will help me to reach God. There's otherness. There's me and my strength and my sadhana and my effort and all of that. When we talk about no otherness, bhakti, we mean we understand that really I want Bhagavan, and to get Bhagavan, I will get him by his grace only. I will do my things that I have to do. I will put the effort in that I have to put in. But really speaking, it is by his grace finally that I will reach that Bhagavan. Like that. Not my own effort, but his grace. Right? Then we remind ourselves that really there is no separation between me and Bhagavan. Ananya Bhakti is the understanding that there is no separation between me and him. Or there's also the desire to see that how there is no separation between me and him. So you look at your hands and you say, Bhagavan, what nice hands you have. Like in the what is it? Is it Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Wolf? Big Bad Wolf. How did it go? Oh, what nice feet you have. What nice hands you have. Something like that it goes, no? I can't remember. Anyways, you look at your hands and you say, Bhagavan, what nice hands you have. You look at your legs and you say, Bhagavan, what nice legs you have. Like that. Right? Ananya Bhakti. I understand that all my power is from Bhagavan only. And he says like this, it is possible. Because Bhagavan is pleased by love. It is love actually that Bhagavan wants, right? In Ramayana, when all the devatas were thinking, Ravana is troubling us too much. We need to do something so that he is removed. Bhagavan Sri Ram has to come and remove him. He has to take avatar and do something. Means Bhagavan Vishnu has to come and do something. So they went to Lord Shiva and they said, Bhagavan Shiva, how do we ask this Bhagavan Vishnu to go and do this work for us? Thank you. And Bhagavan Shiva says in a very famous chaupai, Hari Vyapaka Sarvatra Samana. Bhagavan is all pervasive. He is everywhere equally at all times. But premate pragata hoi main jana. He says, but he manifests by love. When we have love for Bhagavan, then he manifests for us in whichever form. Right? And to Shabari he had said, Manahu eka bhagati karanata. The only relationship that I see in this world is the relationship of love. So, O Arjuna, to become one with me, really speaking, you have to have Ananya Bhakti for me. This Ananya Bhakti will be talked about so much over the next few days, but for now this is what he says. And okay, let me stop there for that, right? Now, is your bhakti like that? You have to ask yourself. Is it that I love Bhagavan for Bhagavan's sake or for what Bhagavan gives me or could give me? These verses are for us to think. Where is my bhakti? Now, your bhakti may not be ananya. You may not have a vision that Bhagavan and me are the same, or you may not have a vision that Bhagavan is everything or all my power is from Bhagavan. You may not have that. Most of us don't have that, right? But we can start from wherever we are and we can try our best, isn't it? And the thing about bhakti is it is not like going to a shop. You can't go and buy it for any price. I heard a nice thing from Guruji. He said, if you can buy something for a price, it means that thing has less value than the price you're paying for it. Means the person that you're going to buy it from, you're buying it from them because they're putting a profit on it, isn't it? So that thing is actually worth less than what you are paying. If you see a price on something, it is actually worth less than the price that you are paying. Now, if you go to pay a price for Bhagavan, that means that Bhagavan is worth less, isn't it? You go to India and see some corrupt pundits. They put a price. You know, you give 1,000 rupees and Bhagavan will bless you. But if you give 2,500 rupees, he will bless your parents. And if you give 5,000 rupees, he will bless your children also. If you give 20,000 rupees, he will bless your whole family. And you go there and you're thinking, man, if I give 1,000, it sounds like I don't care about anybody. They put a price on your blessings. Your blessings have any price? So that is what our bhakti doesn't have a price. So wherever we are, we try to make our bhakti stronger, right? And that is priceless. So Bhagavan himself now will describe how to develop our bhakti more. Actually, this next verse, which is the last verse of chapter 11, is the essence of the meaning of the whole Gita. It is like the seed form of chapter 12, but it is also the essence of the meaning of all of Bhagavad Gita. That Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, the commentator that we study, he says this. So in this verse, what is answered is 5 qualities that we have to develop to be able to reach God. Very beautiful, beautiful verse, right? So let us see what Bhagavan says. Samameti Pandava, O Arjuna, this person comes to me. Who? A person with these 5 qualities. Number 1, Mat Karma Krit, that person who does all actions for my sake. That doesn't mean you come to your whole life, all you have to do is you come to the mandir and you take care of the mandir and you change Bhagavan's clothes and you wash the arti tali and you cook for, that is not. Whatever it is that is our duty in our life, we do it understanding that it is our contribution to this universe. Like that if we do, that itself is doing our actions for Bhagavan. Because if Bhagavan is this universe, then doing for the universe is doing for Bhagavan, isn't it? So, doing our actions selflessly, not thinking of what I want, but thinking of what I should be doing because of everything that I have gotten. I act like that and I understand, Bhagavan, I offer all of it to you. Or universe, community, I offer all of it to you. Like that. Selfless attitude in our action. And the reason for that is because actually we have gotten everything from Him. If you work in a company, and that company provides you with transportation, they provide you with a desk to work, they provide you with a computer, they provide you with all the resources that you have to do all your work, they provide you with the title that allows you to call other people and make bookings and buy things and all of that, and they pay you, right? When you're doing your work, are you not supposed to do your work for that company? Imagine, means, can someone go and run their own business from there? You pay me, you give me the car, you give me the computer, you give me the resources, you give me everything, and I will sit there and I will open my own business. Well, that thing is not done. If the company is providing everything, then you have to dedicate all your work to the company. There's something in when people sign contracts, they sign that your intellectual property also belongs to them. Have you seen? Whatever you create, means whatever creative things you come up with when you're there, if you leave, it's their property, it's not yours. Right? Because what you do with their resources belongs to them. Where have we gotten all of our power in this universe? You made your power to see and to walk and to think and to calculate and all of that. Someone gave it to you. You bought it in the market. We were given all of that. And so with all the things we're given, we dedicate the results to the one who gave it to us. Like that. And then we accept the results like prasad. Okay. Then he says, Mat Paramaha. That person considers me as supreme. Means I am the greatest goal for that person. Is it not true that you can work for a company but not think that the company is great? You can think the company is terrible and still work for that company, isn't it? So you have no respect for that company. You have you're just working there. But the person, Bhagavan is saying, not only do they do all their actions and dedicate to me, they also have the greatest respect for me and they think I am the greatest goal. Right? And then Mad Bhaktaha. They are my Bhakta. They have love for me. You can work for somebody, you can have respect for them, but it doesn't mean you love them. True or false? So the third qualification is also there is love. So when we realize that the world is not going to give us what we are looking for, and what we're looking for is actually going to come from Bhagavan, that is when our love for Bhagavan increases more and more. Anyways, this topic of bhakti will come tomorrow onwards. But for now, whatever meaning of bhakti is there in your mind, love for God, you hold that meaning, right? Now you may say, well, we have love for Bhagavan, but it just doesn't do anything sometimes. Have you seen? Bhagavan says that is because you don't have the next thing, which is Sangha Varjitaha, free from attachment. So we love Bhagavan, but our mind is always on other things in this world that we are attached to. I say I have love for Bhagavan, but now I'm sitting here. Now say you just got a new car, and that car is outside. Well, every 5 minutes a thought might go, I hope nobody came and scratched the car. That road is very narrow. And then there's that sand hill over there too. What if they come and they drive or scrape my car and they go without telling me, and brand new attachment to the car. So mind has gone there. That is how the mind works. Whatever it loves, it goes to that thing. Whatever it is attached to, it goes to that thing. So Bhagavan is saying, if you have so much attachment to all things outside, your mind will not stay on me. That is like, I have love for Bhagavan, but I have a lot of attachment. It's like, I go and I eat a banana with the peel. Or I eat a sweetie with the wrapper. You can still get the taste of it, but it is not enjoyable. I mean, the whole time you're like, you want to remove it. You know, sometimes by mistake, the sweets in the sun, they get very hot. And then they get melty a little bit. And sometimes the wrapper by mistake will go in it. And then if you eat it, you want to take it out because it's contaminated. In the same way, when our love for Bhagavan is mixed with our attachment for things in the world, we don't get the full joy of that love that we have for him. So Bhagavan says we have to reduce our attachments. Meaning, reduce our attachment it sounds very complicated, but it's a very simple thing actually. It just means I have the right expectation from things in this world. If somebody comes here and says, man, this mala is so beautiful, I wanted to make the room smell fragrant. Is that possible? Why is it not possible? Because it is not real flowers. Real flowers is what will spread fragrance. So now if you have an expectation that a mala like this is going to spread fragrance, that is a false expectation or not? So now you're attached to the possibility of it giving you something that it can't. In the same way, we think that our happiness is going to come from getting things, from people being a certain way. Have you heard, if only my child starts to behave like this, my life will be good. Or you put it the other way, it is because you do this that my life is not good. No, anyways, that will come more, but the sentiment is, we shouldn't have unrealistic expectations from things in the world to give us joy, because the true joy is actually inside, not outside. And then the last qualification, the last thing quality Bhagavan says to develop is nirvaira sarvabhuteshu, to not have enmity for any being in this universe. Now it is easy to not have enmity for people who you like, but to not have enmity for somebody who is your enemy, but they are my enemy. Bhagavan did not have a sentiment of enmity even for Ravana, who he considered as his enemy. Right? So that feeling in the heart should not be there that this person is my enemy, this person. You know, that extends to, unfortunately, it extends to sarvabhuteshu, means all beings. That means you cannot have enmity with cockroaches and mosquitoes. Man, mosquitoes are like my enemy. As soon as I sit, they come to me. But means we should understand that every being in this universe has its own place and its own importance. Do you know, if a mosquito bites you, it is your own karma. Actually, it is very hard to accept that fact. What? But it is our own karma only coming back to us. So we can't be angry with them. That is like somebody comes, you know, in the States and Canada and all, every day people order Amazon packages. You know, Amazon, whole day you order something and then you wait, in 2 hours or 1 day it will reach you. Now the Amazon guy comes and he drops a package. And inside that is some very bitter medicine. And you get angry with him. Why did you bring me this bitter medicine? Who ordered it? You only ordered it, so you have to be upset with yourself, not with him. Right? Well, you ordered that mosquito bite by some other action that you did in the past, which you don't remember anymore. Right? So, no enmity means no sentiment of dislike for any being in this universe. No feeling like they shouldn't exist, they shouldn't be here. None of that. Right? Now, it doesn't mean you go and you invite mosquitoes. Come mosquitoes, you know, you're also Bhagavan. There's a difference between our feeling in our heart and our relationship in this world. Like if you go to the zoo, you will go and you will feed the monkeys. You know the monkeys, they come and then they take peanuts from your hand. I don't know if they do it here too. When I was growing up, we used to go and they would take it right from your hand. Can you go and do that with the lion? Come and eat some peanuts from my hand. No, but you still go to the monkey and you have the same love for the monkey that you have for the lion, and you accept the lion for who he is and you accept the monkey for who he is. Isn't it? So you don't say, oh, well, Bhagavan is also, the lion is part of this universe. No, you understand how you relate with them, but in your heart, there is no enmity. That is how Bhagavan says, a person who develops these qualities, he is the one who slowly, he comes to me. he develops this vision that allows him to see the universe as him. Now, I will tell you one last thing. You know, when we talk about how we have to do things to develop love for Bhagavan and then we will get Bhagavan's grace, actually we are just not doing the right calculation of how much grace of Bhagavan is already there in our life. There were two men who went out into the field one day, and they got hungry halfway through the day when the sun was hot, so they decided to sit down and eat. And one had brought 5 pine tarts, and one had brought 3 pine tarts. And just before they started to eat, somebody passed by, and he asked them, "Hey, do you have any food? I'm really hungry." So they said, "Okay, come. We will all share the food that we have, and you can eat some too." So they broke their pine tarts. You know how pine tart has 3 points, right? So they broke their pine tart into 3. Each pine tart into 3. So the one who had 5 broke it into 3 times 5 is 15. And the one who had 3 times 3 is 9. So now total number of pine tart pieces is 24. Is my math correct so far? Okay. Then you take that 24 and they divided it equally between all 3 of them. So how much did each one get? 8, 8, 8. So they all got 8 pieces of pine tart. Well, this man was very happy, the one who came and was fed. So he gave them $800, Guyana dollars. Now he left. And now these 2 people, the first one said, "Okay, well, I had 5 pine tarts and you had 3, so I'm going to keep 500 and I'm going to give you 300. That man said, no, but we shared equally with him. It should be 400 and 400. What kind of cheating are you doing?" So they started to argue. As they were arguing, somebody passed and asked, "What are you all fighting about?" So they explained it to him. And that man said to the man who had 3 pine tarts, who was saying he should get 400 instead of 300, he said, "Look, you actually deserve 100. Be thankful that he's giving you 300. He said, "What? How you mean?" He said, "Look, how many pieces of pine tart did you have? If you had 3 pine tarts and you broke it, how many pieces did you have? 9. How many did you eat? How many did he eat? 8. So how many did he actually give? So the other man gave 7, isn't it? So he should get 700 and this one should get 100. Correct or wrong? But we don't see that. And we say, "What? You're giving me 300, you're supposed to give me 400. It is the exact same thing. We are very bad mathematicians. We don't calculate well how much of Bhagavan's grace is already there in our life. So now, with this introduction like this, Bhagavan is going to go into the most beautiful chapter called Bhakti Yoga. It is the shortest chapter of Bhagavad Gita, but in this chapter is answered what is bhakti, how do we practice it, what are the obstacles of bhakti, what the life of someone who actually practices bhakti looks like. Any possible question a person could have is answered over there. It is such a beautiful chapter, and so that is what we will start to study from tomorrow. Where will we be? We will be at Richmond H scheme. Is it called H scheme? Huh? Housing scheme. Okay. Richmond housing scheme tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Is that far from here? Oh, the other way. Okay. Well, if we're lucky and if internet is good, it will also be on Facebook Live. But if you all can come, please feel free to join. It will be wonderful to see you all again. Okay. So we'll pick up tomorrow. Thank you, Pandit Ravan. Thank you to all the members of this mandir. Thank you all for the warm, loving welcome. And I was so happy to be able to reflect on these verses with all of you. Sorry Swamiji couldn't be here, but thank you all for your smiles. Now we will, a couple of announcements and then we will do Aarti. First announcement, tonight is night 70. The last night of this 108 nights will happen on the 3rd of May in Georgetown at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground. It will be really wonderful if people from every mandir are able to come, if members from each mandir come as we celebrate this momentous occasion of 108 nights of Bhagavad Gita across the whole of Guyana. It's being done for the first time here. So if you're able to come, you come. It's from 5 to 6:30. So I don't know, I think speedboats will come back after that too. You'll be done dinner and everything soon after 6:30 and you can come back. Or if you need a place to stay, if you have relatives, you can stay with them, or you can stay at the ashram. Chinmay Mission Guyana now has an ashram in Monrepo. We'll put some foam on the ground and everybody can sleep and come back the next day. Right? Please, it will be really wonderful if you all can make it, or some of you. Then, Swami Prakashanandaji has been talking about something called a Vedanta course. It is a 2-year intensive course that will be held in the ashram in Trinidad. Swami Prakashanandaji will be the acharya or the teacher for that course. For 2 years, if you want to study Sanatana Dharma properly, you want to understand it properly, and or you want to be able to go and teach this to keep Sanatana Dharma alive and strong and revive it and all of that. This 2-year course is for this kind of person. You have classes starting at 5:30 in the morning, Vedic chanting and meditation. And classes go on all day, Sanskrit, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, everything text after text. And the classes finish like 8 p.m. at night. And there's no holidays, no weekends, no breaks, nothing. And you study every single day. And Swamiji said it is 15 years of university in that 2 years, when you calculate. So if someone is interested in this, they have to be under 30, unmarried, and they have to have a university degree. And they apply, and if they get in, if they meet the qualifications, then Chinmay Mission will sponsor everything for them to study for those 2 years. It is, when you say it like this, it sounds intense, but I tell you, it is the most indescribably amazing 2 years a person could ever have in their life, if this is the kind of thing that they're interested in. So if you know anybody who's interested in this kind of thing, please do let them know that this will be happening starting in October of this year. Okay? I think that is it. We'll stand for Aarti. We'll be doing Bhagavad Gita Aarti. Okay? Jai Bhagavad Gita Maya Jai Bhagavad Gita Hariya Kamala Viharini Hariya Kamala Viharini Sundara Supunite Om Jai Bhagavad Gita
Maya Jai Bhagavad Gita Harihi
Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu, Mangalam Garudadvajah, Mangalam Pundarikaksham, Mangalayatanu Harihi, Tvameva Mata Chapita, Tvameva Bandhascha Sakha, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। हर हर नम पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम तत्सत।